Have you ever been severely underestimated, maybe even misunderstood at times? Lord knows I have. In today's episode, we're going to go into the reality of being a Black optometrist. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back. I'm Dr. Adesola Fade, aka Dr. Swola, for those that know me. Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you tapping in with me and getting in with me. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please, ain't no pressure. I ain't gonna put pressure on you. But if you like the content and you appreciate the value that I'm giving, feel free to give me a like, comment, subscribe, share this, video with somebody who you feel like may appreciate it. Okay. Now, if you family, we call ourselves family, I expect you to already be tapped in. Okay. Now, on today's episode, we're going to get straight into it. Today's episode, we're going to talk about the reality of being a Black optometrist in today's world. You see what I'm saying? So the way I categorize it is kind of like the bad part or the harsh reality and the good reality of being a Black optometrist. So just like anyone else, when someone comes to you with news and they say, hey, listen, I got good news and then I got bad news. Give me the bad news first and then the good news after, because you're not about to have me mad, all upset the rest of the day. Now, give me the bad news first and then give me the good news later so that I can be cheerful and, be a little bit made up after that. So we're going to start with the harsh reality of being a Black optometrist. Okay. So first thing is, I would say a lot of this also is your vantage point and how you view this. Because if you view this the right way, even the harsh reality won't really impact you and affect you too much. But some of the things that I'm going to share with you guys today might sound a little difficult to kind of comprehend. But if you've been living with it for a long time, you know how to kind of weather that storm. See what I'm saying? So the first thing is this. One, you need to understand that people are going to severely underestimate you, undermine you, and second guess you, right? There's many times that I'm in situations where I'll have the same diagnosis, the same treatment, the same methods of a particular case for a particular patient. But at the end of the day, it just doesn't seem like I know what I'm talking about. It doesn't seem like it's correct in relation to my Asian counterparts, my white counterparts, or even my Indian counterparts, right? So a lot of times you find yourself in situations where you're having to go above and beyond in your care just to show that you're competent enough to know exactly what you're doing and that you actually have the best interests of your patient in your mind, right? So a lot of times you have to deal with that. The second thing that I normally have to deal with is the fact that people are going to talk about me all the time. It just is what it is. People talk about you. There's not much you can do to change that. And for me, the way I look at it is like, listen, if you're going to talk about me, I'm going to give you something to talk about. It is what it is, whether it's good or bad, because I'm not going to act like when people talk about me, it's always bad. Sometimes it is good, but majority of the time, people are talking about you in ways that could somewhat be maligning you, and they're using a lot of microaggressions and things that they think that you don't understand and that you don't pick up, and things that they don't think that you are fully capable of being able to recognize. But a lot of times they're going to talk about you. They're going to talk behind your back. They're going to talk about what you do, what you don't do. They're going to say things that may not be 100% accurate about you because of the way you present yourself, right? And a lot of times for me, I've just brushed a lot of that stuff off. Not really worried about what anyone has to say about me personally. Not worried about what you got to say about how I do my job or what I do, because at the end of the day, if you know who you are and your identity is secured in who you are and in what you do, you never really have to worry about people saying this or saying that, because at the end of the day, it's like their opinions of you should not matter more than the opinion that you have of yourself, right? So if you have high self-esteem or you believe in yourself, you won't let anyone bring you down. if anyone's ever maligning your character, obviously you want to speak up for yourself, right? But then sometimes you got to understand that there's just things that you just can't fight. If someone believes that I don't know what I'm doing and they go tell other people that I don't know what he's doing, there's nothing I can really do. All I got to do is just continue to show up every day for my patients, show up for my staff, and be the best version of me that I can be. And then the rest, baby, is history. You know what I'm saying? So that's normally what it is. And then the third thing is, listen, sometimes you will feel ostracized or isolated in a way within the profession, right? Like, I'm not saying that we don't have a very strong cohort and a strong group of Black doctors that are connected nationally. Like, I mean, we've got our group chats, we've got our own meetings and things that we do on our own to celebrate ourselves and be there for one another. But I'm talking about in my local community and in my circle of influence, I don't really have that. You know, I'm usually, if I go to any local meeting or any club meeting, or if I go to any dinner for a CE, which is continuing education, or anything like that, I'll most likely be the only Black person there, let alone the only Black doctor, right? So a lot of times you will feel isolated. You'll feel like you don't really fit in as well. And that's part of it. You know, that it is what it is. So sometimes I do stick out like a sore thumb, and I'm kind of picked on a little bit sometimes because of that, because they want to see if I'm there mentally with them, and, you know, academically and educationally. So sometimes you'll get some of that stuff. So, right. So that's some of the things that I've experienced in my journey. But I think that ultimately, like I said in the beginning, like the vantage point that you have with a lot of these situations is what's going to determine and dictate how you move in this profession. Because if you look at so much of the negative, then you're going to miss out on a lot of the positive, which I'm about to get into. So there's so many more positives, in my opinion, of being an actual Black optometrist in today's world, right? And the first thing is this, is that one, and to me, this is an amazing thing, is that one, you might actually be the first Black doctor a lot of patients see, right? They may not have seen a Black doctor before, right? And for me, a lot of times people are coming up, my patients are telling me like, man, you're the first Black doctor I've ever even had, let alone my eye doctor. I've never even seen a Black eye doctor or a Black male eye doctor, right? Like, shouldn't you be playing football, or shouldn't you be, you know, doing this or doing that because you're like this big Black jock? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, they kind of reduce you sometimes. They'll try to reduce you sometimes to just what they think your stereotypical profile is. But at the end of the day, right, part of me being here is to rise above the socioeconomic normative standard of what they think someone like me should be doing, right? Not all of us are rappers. Not all of us are going to be athletes, right? Some of us are going to, you know, be doctors, and it is what it is. So I think that, you know, it's amazing to hear people state that I'm their first Black doctor. But I think what it also does is it allows me to set kind of a standard and set the template, right? And like be an amazing example of what Black excellence actually looks like, right? So people can have a great experience, want to come back, and that I'm like helping change the narrative a little bit of what men, Black men like me, can look like and what we can do in this society, right? The second thing is, which to me might be the most important thing, is cultural competency, right? Like my ability to connect with my patients on a deep level is really, to me, what changes the entire game, right? Like all my minorities, my Hispanics, you know what I'm saying, my Latinos, my African Americans, my Africans, everybody, you know, being able to relate to them on so many different levels, to know the fact that, listen, I know where you come from, I know what you do, I know what you eat, I know how you move, I know everything about you because that's my life as well. So when I come at them and when I speak with them and when I sit with them, I'm talking to them from a place of understanding, and it builds a more meaningful and impactful bridge to get to them so that they internalize what I'm saying and hear it differently. So when I'm saying, Auntie, now hey, I know you love that sweet tea, but let's do, instead of doing two cups, let's just do one. You know, hey, now I know you be sleeping in context, I know times it's hard, but I'm gonna need you to replace them. Like the way I can approach my patients are coming from a place of understanding because I get them. And so a lot of times, My white counterparts sometimes miss that. Sometimes they miss a little bit of that sensitivity, and then it reflects in the way that they do what they do. So I think that's one thing that I really pride myself on, is being able to understand my patients on a deep level. So that's an amazing thing. And I think that the last thing I will say to this that's relevant to the conversation is the fact that when you're a young Black optometrist, you bring a lot of novelty, but innovation to the field, to the profession altogether, right? Like, because of who I am and where I come from, I see optometry in a different world and then through a different lens. So I'm able to like see my patients differently and treat them differently, like, right? So like I see things on such a broader scale, but I'm able to minimize care to such an intimate level that, I don't know, it just changes the way and revolutionizes the way that we do optometry. I think it's amazing. I think it's beautiful. Basically what I'm saying is we get to display Black excellence every single day. And for me, I've been fortunate enough to do that, right? So with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap that video. We're gonna leave it right here as is. But ultimately, guys, like it's been a beautiful blessing to be able to be a young Black successful male optometrist in this world. And I plan to continue to do amazing things. So with that, guys, listen, put in the comments if you've noticed anything, if you've ever seen a Black doctor before, if you've ever had one, what kind of experience did you have? And once again, if you appreciated this video, please do me a favor, give me a like, share this video with somebody, and subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna see y'all on the next one, but for now, I'm gonna go ahead and sign out. So peace.